who have no interest in this kind of thing. They just want to hate. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. They hate Trump. I don't think it's a good place for your mind to be, by the way, to hate anybody. Hate what they do, policies. I mean, I could list things I hate about Trump from like making fun of McCain. You know, I mean, right off the bat, I really, really hated that. And I'm not even a Republican, but like, you know, I mean, people.
No, but you're decent.
Well, people, you know, if you get shot down, you're not a hero. If you get captured, he got shot down. Like, wasn't it? Like he was trying to get shot down, or wasn't when his plane hit the ground and he broke his leg, he wasn't trying to get away. It was so offensive, but I don't hate him. And if you let yourself into that hate, then everything that happens you only see through the one partisan lens. So that's where your thing is about the signal thing, the worst thing that ever happened. You're right, it's not the worst thing that ever happened.
Bill Maher sits down with former news anchor Chris Cuomo on this episode of Club Random, and the conversation turns intense right from the start. They explore how difficult it is to protect your name when modern media treats disagreement like a full contact sport. Cuomo opens up about his life after CNN, what it was like growing up inside the powerful Cuomo political family, and how it feels to stand at the center of a never-ending controversy. They talk about the figure who reshaped politics into something closer to pro wrestling, someone who thrives on chaos, feeds off conflict, and somehow walks away untouched. Bill and Chris speak freely, making it clear that surviving today's anger-driven media world takes more than just thick skin. In many ways, they argue, the outrage engine and the man himself are one and the same. They point out how authenticity has become a powerful tool, one that no Democrat has been able to use quite the same way, largely because of his unshakable grip on his loyal supporters. That leads to the big question. Why can't anyone else pull this off? Nothing is off limits in their talk, including heated topics like calls to reduce police funding. They note how America's sense of humor seems to be fading under constant tension, yet the loop of anger keeps spinning. By the end, one thing is clear. The man, the legend, and the political wildcard has returned. Whether you cheer for him or can't stand him, he's impossible to ignore. Along the way, there's plenty of humor too. Jokes about losing your temper, learning forgiveness, and the realities of being a dad. So buckle up, because this conversation doesn't slow down.
And that's why MAGA is immune, because they can only do it to their own. Donald Trump is truly the Teflon Don. The media cannot take him down.
No.
Because his people reject the basis of the criticism. There's an old expression, you know, that if you have to decide whether or not to care about what someone says about you, the way you start is, well, who said it? What do I think of them? And people have made that assessment about the media. And they've said, you know what? I don't care what you say about him, because I think that you allow a lot worse. And I think you're kind of what you say he is. And that's why they're not going to get Hegseth out.
No.
But they would be if it were the Biden administration. They can cancel all day on the left. They cannot take out members of MAGA. Trump would have to go bad on the guy. It would probably have to be a federal case to make him even think about it. And there is a power in that for him. Do I think he's handling this the right way? No, but part of the reason he's not handling it the right way is that he doesn't respect the criticism. He knows he can just say, The Atlantic is a failed magazine.
Right.
This guy sucks.
Right.
They all suck.
Yeah.
Okay, but is what he's saying true? Well, who cares? They suck. And we killed the Houthis. That's good. And they move on if they're smart. They just move on and the media will move on.
In this part of the discussion, Maher and Cuomo refuse to soften their stance. They agree that cancel culture has turned into a strange ceremony where people are judged forever by their lowest moment. In their view, this hits the political left especially hard. Make one wrong move, even by accident, and you're finished. Pushed out with no real chance to explain yourself or make things right. Meanwhile, they point out that the massive crowd on the opposite side plays by very different rules. That group sticks together tightly. Someone there could face serious legal trouble or be caught in total chaos, and supporters would still stand firm. Loyalty comes before everything else. Because of that, the line between right and wrong starts to blur, shifting depending on which team you're cheering for. That's just how the game is played now. They also turn their attention to comedy, noting how uneven the rules have become. Make fun of someone on the right and you're praised as bold and brave. Aim similar jokes at someone on the left and suddenly you're called offensive, insensitive, or worse. You're shut out entirely. That uneven anger is what really frustrates them both. They argue that comedians are allowed to joke endlessly about Republicans, overweight people, racists, or rednecks. But the moment humor touches someone labeled as part of a protected group, everything stops. That, they say, is the real issue. Somewhere along the way, the point was missed. Comedy exists to ease pressure and help people cope with real life. Pretending that some topics are forbidden while others are fair game isn't progress at all. It's censorship hiding behind a moral mask.
Mayor Adams that name is pretty much in the
I don't
mud.
think Trump did him any favors with how that deal was structured. I was happy to hear that the amicus brief, that the person who was brought in to look at it, who's a very legitimate person, said these charges should be dropped. It shouldn't be that, let's see what happens after the election. It's not fair that Trump is trying to keep those hooks in Mayor Adams like that. I know my brother's running against him, but that's how I feel. I think the federal indictment was weak sauce. And I think this deal by Trump was manipulative. And you either drop the charges, you don't.
Okay, weak sauce. You talking about the actual thing itself, the deal with Turkey? Well,
Yeah.
Right, I
It's like
agree.
upgrades.
I agree. I thought the same thing. I'm like, of all the things politicians do,
Yeah.
this guy, I mean, of all the places, Turkey.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, was it completely right that Mayor Adams will now say, oh, I don't think there was, I read about it. There's not, I know what the Kardashians say about the whole Armenian genocide, but you know what? I've looked into it. It was over 100 years ago. All right, it was Turkey. Can we just all enjoy Thanksgiving? Okay, it wasn't the greatest thing to do, but like the
Federal charges?
again, like he and Trump bonded over, it's funny that we bond left and right over what the scalp hunters do to both of us.
Yeah. And it's the parties playing to their
God.
worst instincts of those
Damn it.
fringes.
What?
It's the fringe. The fringe dominates our dialogue,
Right.
dominates our process. And you're either, look, and then you get really pissed off when you see the hypocrisy of it.
I
What
mean,
is that?
there's a rule.
At this point, both men have plenty to say about him. They agree it has nothing to do with intelligence. What sets him apart is his natural ability to connect with people in a way most politicians can't. He doesn't speak to logic first. He goes straight for instinct. That gut level bond makes him nearly impossible to beat. They describe him less as a solution and more like a force that spreads through the system. Instead of fixing what's broken, he shakes everything up. Oddly enough, that's exactly why his supporters admire him. He shows up ready to tear apart the machine, not repair it, and that rebellious energy turns him into a champion for his base. Still, one thing they won't argue against is his sincerity. He doesn't behave like a polished career politician. He says what he wants, how he wants, and people respond to that, even if they don't always like the delivery. Somehow, that rough honesty makes him feel familiar and approachable. Maher adds another sharp point. When outlets like CNN or The Atlantic criticize him, his response is basically, who cares? His supporters already dislike those sources, so the attacks only fuel their loyalty. Facts don't seem to change minds there because many people already see the media as the opposition. Normally, scandals would end a political career. In this case, Maher argues, they only strengthen the legend. This isn't just a presidential run, it's the biggest reality show in the country, and the media keeps giving it non-stop attention at no cost to him. Love him or hate him, that's real influence. And everyone else in politics is still trying to figure out how to keep up.
You know, why was that guy canceled?
But
Why was she canceled? Something happened, right? And these people move on. I don't think it's an unfair level of scrutiny. I don't know what the mechanism would be. I don't know how to do it, but I do think that if you were in the scalps game, you should be open and investigated as well. And I know that a lot of the brothers and sisters in the media will say, well, you're going to have a chilling effect on journalists. It depends on what you're reporting on. If you're reporting on why they invoked the state secrets privilege in the litigation about the migrants that they sent out of here, then go deep and take it where it leads. But if you're just trying to get the guy for his sex life, if you're just trying to get him for something, cancel him, then why shouldn't that be done to you? And then see how ready you are to find that relevant the next time. Because we didn't used to report on that. I can't tell you
Sex
how many
life, you
personal...
talking about your brother?
No,
Oh.
because his party has rules. His party has rules. You may not like the rules, but in the Democratic Party, an allegation is enough. And then they cancel you. And he had like a dozen, you know what I mean? So That's the rule of his party.
If you've ever paid attention to how famous figures are treated by the media, especially when controversy even whispers their name, you already know the playbook. It's not about fairness, it's not about finding the truth. The goal is to tear someone down, turn it into a dramatic storyline, and then rush off to the next target before anyone has time to sort out the facts. That's where this discussion really lands. As two people who've both taken serious hits in the public eye, Maher and Cuomo unpack how this system works. Cuomo isn't speaking from a distance here, he lived it. After being dropped by CNN and chased relentlessly by headlines, he's now rebuilding even as much of the country barely remembers what he contributed in the first place. And that, in a way, proves the point. The media applauds you, then tears you apart, and soon after moves on. When the dust settles, people are left asking, wait, what even happened? Bill sums it up with a sharp but honest line. Most people don't actually want accountability, they want punishment. The outrage machine never pauses, it doesn't care about context, it doesn't wait for facts, and by the time the truth finally shows up, the damage is already done because attention has shifted to the next public takedown. They're careful to explain that this isn't about saying all media is bad or that public figures should be immune from consequences. What they're calling out is the harmful cycle of public shaming that values clicks more than clarity. They label it performative justice. The online crowd now runs the show. Both men understand how quickly the same audience that cheers your wins can celebrate your collapse, and then, months later, forget you were ever there at all. Thanks for taking the time to watch and think through this conversation with me. If this breakdown gave you something new to consider, tap the like button, it really helps. And if you appreciate thoughtful discussions, media insight, and cutting through the noise, be sure to subscribe. There's plenty more coming, and you won't want to miss it. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.